All right, let's talk about Warren Buffett. He's arguably the most successful investor in history, and now he's getting ready to step back. So today, we're going to try and break down his legendary success, and we'll be using some amazing insights from another master investor, Seth Klarman, to guide us. This is going to be good.
So, here's the big question, right? Buffett didn't invent some world-changing technology. His work, as Klarman so perfectly put it, was this prosaic art of investing. I mean, it was just buying one stock, not buying another. But the results? Well, they were anything but mundane. So, how on earth did he do it?
You know, Buffett himself gave us the perfect answer. This one little phrase, simple but not easy, pretty much sums up his entire career. His genius wasn't some secret, complex formula, nope. It was his incredible, almost superhuman discipline in mastering the fundamentals, the very basics that most of us either overlook or just don't have the patience to stick with.
Okay, so to really understand the master, we have to go back to the beginning. Buffett's whole approach to investing was really forged when he was young, mixing this natural hustle he had with one absolutely life-changing experience in the classroom.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It all starts when he's just 11 years old, already playing the market. Then by 17, he's not just working a job, he's buying assets, these pinball machines that are spitting out cash for him. But the real game changer, the moment it all clicked, was studying under the great Benjamin Graham at Columbia. That experience set him on the path that led him right back home to Omaha to start his own firm just a few years later.
And this is the core philosophy he got from Graham: value investing. It's such a powerful idea, and it's pretty simple. A stock isn't just a blip on a screen. It's a tiny piece of a real living business. Your job is to figure out what that whole business is worth, and then just wait, patiently, for a chance to buy your little piece for less than it's worth. Graham's book, The Intelligent Investor, basically became Buffett's Bible for his whole career.
So he's got the philosophy down, but how did he execute it so perfectly for over 70 years? Let's dig into the specific, repeatable principles that were the engine behind his incredible performance.
Seth Klarman really boiled Buffett's genius down to these 5 key traits. And what's fascinating is, they're not about crazy math skills. It's all about mindset, being quick and decisive, cutting through the noise to see what really matters, knowing the difference between a good and a truly great investment, and having this unbelievable long-term focus. But that last one, mental agility to evolve, that one is absolutely crucial.
And this quote just brilliantly shows that evolution in his thinking. See, he learned from his partner, the legendary Charlie Munger, that it's way better to buy a fantastic company at a fair price than a fair company at a fantastic price. He shifted from just hunting for cheap deals to searching for those truly amazing, durable businesses.
And to keep that laser focus, he came up with this mental model, the 20-punch card. Just imagine that. You get a card with only 20 slots for your entire life of investing. Suddenly, you're not going to waste a punch on some mediocre idea, are you? No way. You're going to wait for the absolute best ideas, the fat pitches as he called them. It's the ultimate lesson in making fewer, better bets.
Now this right here might be the most important part of the whole story. More than how smart he was, Buffett's greatest weapon was his temperament. It really wasn't about what he knew, but about how he behaved, especially when the world was going crazy.
This slide just says it all, doesn't it? When the market is in a free fall, the average investor sees panic and fear. They sell everything. What does Buffett see? A sale. He gets excited. He gets to buy more of the amazing companies he already loves, but now they're on discount. He focuses on the long-term value of the business, not the scary price flashing on the screen. This emotional control, it's his superpower.
This is probably his most famous quote ever, and it perfectly captures that contrarian mindset. It sounds so simple, right? But it is incredibly hard to actually do when everyone around you is panicking. Mastering this one idea is really the secret sauce to his success. And he did it with this unbelievable, relentless consistency. Klarman compares him to Cal Ripken Jr., baseball's Iron Man, who played in over 2,600 consecutive games. Think about that. For nearly 75 years, Buffett was in the game, every single day, never straying from his discipline. That kind of long-term excellence is it's unheard. But Buffett's story is so much bigger than just making money. His real legacy is defined by his impact as a teacher, as a stabilizing force in the markets, and as one of the greatest philanthropists in all of human history.
I mean, he took the shareholder meeting, normally the most boring event imaginable, and turned it into this huge festival of learning. They called it the Woodstock of capitalism. For hours and hours, he and Charlie Munger would just sit there and answer questions, teaching their philosophy to anybody who wanted to learn. And his annual letters to shareholders, they're practically required reading for anyone serious about investing.
And then there's his philanthropy. In 2006, he pledged $31 billion to the Gates Foundation. Just let that number sink in for a second. At the time, it was one of the largest single charitable donations ever made.
And he didn't just stop there. He co-founded the Giving Pledge, actively going out and convincing the world's richest people to give away the majority of their fortunes. This one initiative is going to shape the world for generations. It really proves he wasn't just compounding money, he was compounding good in the world.
Which brings us to this final, really thought-provoking question from Seth Klarman. For decades, Buffett has been that steady, consistent voice of calm and reason in a totally chaotic world. With him stepping back, who's going to be that North Star for us now? It's a huge question, and it really makes you appreciate the incredible impact of his steady hand.
You know, speaking of his way of thinking, for those of us who are inspired by how he gauged market sentiment, there's a tool called the Buffett Indicator that helps track the market's overall temperature. If you're curious, you can actually search for it and download the iOS app from the Apple App Store.
And of course, just a quick reminder for all of us, all this content is for educational purposes. It is definitely not investment advice, so please always do your own homework before making any decisions.
Hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown and you want to go even deeper on topics just like this one, we'd love for you to subscribe to Deep Value Investing on Apple or Spotify podcasts, wherever you listen. Thanks so much for tuning in.